What's up, guys? Chase over here, bringing you another video to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving you my predictions for the WWE Superstar Shakeup. Let's shake things up again, damn it. Today I'm going to be predicting 5 superstars from Raw going to SmackDown, 5 superstars from SmackDown going to Raw. So let's get started with this one. If you guys have any predictions, please either tweet them at me at ChaseOliver68 or comment section down below. Show me your predictions. I would like to know what you guys have to say. Anyways, it's time to get started with this one. My first prediction is I predict some jobbers on the move, because we can't always be talking about the main stars move. We got to talk about those jobbers, and I feel Curt Hawkins fits perfectly on SmackDown. Like, for real, man, Curt Hawkins with this losing streak gimmick, that should be featured on TV every week. And the fact that it isn't is just absolutely ridiculous. So have Curt Hawkins lose every week on SmackDown. It'll be funny. It'll get the fans kind of interested into something that's not a main event type of scene. It'll do less writing for Road Dogg, so fans don't have to bitch about Road Dogg's writing, because hey, it's just Curt Hawkins coming out there cutting a funny promo, him losing. SmackDown needs a funny act. The fashion police are kind of dying down. Now this one is just kind of like a why. Like, why is this happening? And that's Ty Dillinger going to Raw. Like, let's be real here. Like, I see no potential in Ty Dillinger. I don't get it. Everyone loves this guy. Me, not so much. I just find Ty Dillinger a little bit boring, but it's okay. Just my opinion. But I can just totally see me watching Raw tomorrow, and then all of a sudden hear 10 do, and he just comes out looking like a goof, doing his little 10 thing, and I'm just sitting there like, why Ty Dillinger? Like, why they pushing this guy? But who knows? Maybe it's just like WWE. He will have like a Maharaja. Maybe he'll have like a Jinder Mahal type of push. Gets like the IC title scene or something. Who knows with Ty Dillinger? But yeah, those are 2 jobbers that I see moving brands. Up next, I look at the boss, Sasha Banks. I know a lot of people are saying Bayley to SmackDown. I really do feel like WWE prefers Sasha Banks more as a face for their company. I really feel like WWE really wants Sasha Banks to be one of their main women players, which is fine. I can understand that. She has a lot of interesting parts about her. The fact that she's Snoop Dogg's cousin's also kind of a big plus, and then also she also reaches another demographic in the African American department. So I can see why WWE would be more on Sasha Banks than Bayley. I just think Bayley is just fine even without a title, in my personal opinion. I don't think Bayley with the title is as interesting with Sasha Banks as the title. Sasha Banks, though, I feel like she would be a breath of fresh air on SmackDown. It'll be a new start for her career. I'll be able to let her hit the reset button on kind of like a mediocre main roster run. Minus her few championship wins and her feud with Charlotte, her main roster run has just been kind of mediocre, and she hasn't lived up to the potential that a lot of people thought she could have when it was in NXT. So her going to SmackDown, I think, would be a good thing. She get to see some familiar faces like Becky Lynch and Naomi, and get to see some new faces like the Riot Squad, the iconic duo Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, and of course Carmella, the new SmackDown Live Women's Champion. So I think Sasha Banks would be a good person to move on forward. Up next, I see the New Day returning to Raw, mainly because of one thing. I think it's time for you guys to finally push Big E as a singles guy. I'd rather see Big E succeed on Raw than on SmackDown. I think Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods could still provide some value into the tag team scene, but honestly, I just see the New Day coming back to Raw, mainly because their t-shirt sellers are big stars, and Raw likes to have all the big guys in one house, because that's how WWE Raw works. Next up, a Raw superstar that could be moving on forward, I see The Miz going to SmackDown, mainly because of Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan's back on SmackDown, and I don't see WWE moving Daniel Bryan to the red brand. So I feel like you can move The Miz back to SmackDown, and The Miz would be definitely helpful there on SmackDown. Once again, like I was talking about with Curt Hawkins, where Road Dogg won't have to write too much because you got Curt Hawkins lose a match. You don't have to write that much when The Miz is on your brand, because The Miz normally dedicates 1 to maybe 3 segments a night for you, with the Miz TV segment, and then you're a post match and a match that could last 2 segments. I mean, that's 3 segments that Road Dogg doesn't have to write for. I mean, Road Dogg would be doing backflips so you got The Miz back on his brand. I don't know if Road Dogg was head writer at the time when Miz was there, but honestly, it was a working relationship that did well, because that was one of The Miz's best runs. Now, you know, his Raw run has been really good. The Miz has been really good as of late, but let's not deny it. The SmackDown run, everyone was like upset when they took him away and they put him on Raw. They're like, why are you taking away The Miz from SmackDown? He's like one of the best things on SmackDown. And honestly, I want to see The Miz, you know, get an opportunity at a World Championship. I just don't see it on Raw. I see it more on SmackDown. I feel like that's where The Miz could go. So I feel like The Miz going back to SmackDown would be a good thing. Another prediction of mine is Baron Corbin going from SmackDown to Raw. I just honestly feel like Baron Corbin, he has nothing left to do on SmackDown Live. I just don't see him in the main event scene over there. I feel like bringing him down to Raw, working the mid mid-card scene over there would be a breath of fresh air. We know Vince McMahon's huge on Baron Corbin. The guy has definitely improved since like last year when he won the Money in the Bank. I wouldn't be surprised if Baron Corbin re-won the Money in the Bank when that pay-per-view comes around, but I think they want him on the red brand. He's also a perfect guy that they would probably want to feud with Roman Reigns. He's a guy that could feud well with Seth Rollins, and once again, a lot more fresher matches for Baron Corbin, minus my Ty Dillinger prediction that I have. You know, he's just been doing the same thing on SmackDown ever since he lost the U.S. title, so give him a fresh new start on Raw, rebook him as a big-time badass, and see what happens there. Up next, my next Raw to SmackDown guy. These are kind of like my next shocking guys, but my next guy that I have is Care Bear, aka Braun Strowman, going to Raw to SmackDown. One of the things that I noticed about SmackDown, what they're missing, is that they don't really have that much powerhouse wrestlers. Like, they don't have a legit powerhouse wrestler, legit big guy wrestler that can be a threat to some of their smaller wrestlers. Like, Care Bear is just kind of one of those guys. It just feels like Raw, they're not going to put the Universal title on him anytime soon. It just doesn't feel like on Raw, he's going to be the main guy. Right now, the fans like him. The fans are cheering for him. Take him over to SmackDown. Have him on SmackDown where the fans can get behind him and have like at least the feeling that, hey, this guy can actually become the WWE champion. Now, he has improved massively. I will definitely admit that. Even though I'm not a huge fan of this guy, I do definitely think he has improved massively from what he was a year ago. But just on Monday Night Raw, I see them keeping him on Raw, but I honestly feel like he would just be better served on SmackDown, where SmackDown is sorely lacking a powerhouse wrestler, while Raw has like so many of those, man. You have the Authors of Pain, you have Roman Reigns, you have Samoa Joe, you have so many of these powerhouse wrestlers that on SmackDown, you need someone like that on that brand, and I feel like Care Bear would be the perfect guy for that brand, and he would have better opportunities to succeed on SmackDown than he would on Raw, to be honest with you. So that's why I feel like Care Bear to SmackDown is definitely a possibility. Then we look at Charlotte. Charlotte recently did her job. She beat Asuka's streak, and now she's going to go on and she's going to go move to Monday Night Raw so she can build up to Rousey. That's pretty much a simple way to talk about it. I mean, Charlotte pretty much was taking a nice little staycation. If you guys know what a staycation is, I learned this term recently in my class. I didn't even know what a staycation was. Like, I thought it was the funniest thing I ever heard. A staycation is where you take a vacation, but it's in your hometown and you just do a bunch of touristy stuff. I didn't even know that was a thing. I should take some staycations in LA sometimes. But yeah, so Charlotte, she was just taking a staycation. She was just chilling. She was doing her thing on SmackDown, so fans wouldn't be too mad that, oh, why is Charlotte going down our throats? Now the Golden Child is back. The Queen is back, and she's ready to go face Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35. If that's the plan, hey, they're going to do it. And I don't see Charlotte being built up on SmackDown Live, baby. They're going to build her up on Raw, which gets more eyeballs on the television sets. Now it's time for the two big guys that I feel could be moving brands. And the first one is the current Intercontinental Champion, Grand Slam Rollins himself, Seth frickin' Rollins. Now, this has been a rumor that Seth Rollins might be moving to SmackDown, and I kind of believe it, to be honest. I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, they just made Monday Night Rollins t-shirts not too long ago, Chase, but he's not really wearing that anymore. And really, to be honest, the new moniker that he has is Grand Slam Rollins. And I just look at Seth Rollins and I just say, right now in his point in his career, him being the top guy on SmackDown, or the top babyface on SmackDown, or the top heel of SmackDown would benefit him. Right now on Raw, it's just way too many guys that they feel like they're focused on, like Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Care Bear if he stays on Raw, you know, The Miz. You know, there's just too many guys where I just feel like Seth Rollins would get lost in the shuffle. At least on SmackDown, I feel like Seth Rollins could find a good home, and Seth Rollins can still build on being one of the best guys on the roster when it comes to an in-ring development-wise. So that's why I feel like Seth Rollins going to SmackDown would be better than staying on Raw. He could easily lose the Intercontinental title at the Greatest Royal Rumble to Finn Balor, or Samoa Joe could climb that ladder and he can win it. I think that's the official match. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong at the time of this recording, I do apologize for giving out false information. I'm just going from what I've read online and everything like that and what the official card says. But yeah, so he could lose it there. Maybe they'll move the IC Championship back to over to SmackDown Live, and they'll switch the U.S. Championship belt in the near future. But for me personally, I feel like Seth Rollins on SmackDown would just kind of make the most sense, and I just feel like he would benefit more on SmackDown. And then finally, the biggest shocker of them all, AJ Styles moving to Raw. Well, I guess it's not really much of a shocker once people saw that I had Seth Rollins moving, because a lot of people remember the rumor was that they were thinking about switching Seth Rollins for AJ Styles. I feel like keeping AJ Styles and Seth Rollins away from each other for quite some time is actually a good idea. You can build up a dream match for them at either, like, let's say a SummerSlam, Survivor Series, or WrestleMania 35. That's kind of like a dream match because it just hasn't happened really all that often. Like, I believe the last time it happened was like Seth Rollins was like just starting out in wrestling. I can't remember. I could be wrong. Maybe they wrestled in ROH or something like that and I just missed it. But that's something that you could save up for. And I just really feel like AJ, he's done his service on the SmackDown Live roster, and it's time for him to go to the bigger fish. It's time for him to go to Monday Night Raw, and I feel like the Monday Night Raw wrestlers would benefit working with AJ Styles, because AJ Styles has gotten the most out of all these SmackDown Live people. It's time for him to get the most out of these Raw people. We've seen he's put on good matches with Roman Reigns. We know he can put on a good match with Finn Balor, but what about all these other Raw superstars that need some help? AJ Styles needs to help out these other Raw superstars. The guy is a legit star for this company. He's not like the main face of the company, but when you think of the top 5 stars of the company, oh, he's up there. I mean, he's up there. Never in my life would I think AJ Styles would have defended a WWE Championship at WrestleMania. Like, I would have never thought that would be the case, but he has. He defended the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I feel like AJ Styles could possibly lose the WWE Championship soon, and then this would be a reason for AJ Styles to chase after the Universal title. I would have no problem with AJ Styles with whatever he does at Raw. Anything that AJ Styles does, I feel like is more positive than negative, because AJ Styles seems to find a way to make it work. But yeah, AJ Styles to Raw, I think would be something that would be a breath of fresh air for his character. As much as people like that he's the face of SmackDown, wouldn't want to see him leave, sometimes you got to stop with the comfort area. Sometimes it's good to be uncomfortable about something, and I feel like AJ Styles being a red brand soldier would be a good thing. Anyways, guys, what are your predictions for the Superstar Shakeup? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys like this video, give this video a big old thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and the bell for the notifications. Remember, guys, just like our Universal Champion Brock Lesnar, sometimes you don't have to give a shit in life. And yo.